Sarah Jacobson, Marketing Artfully. Okay, so it's Casual Friday. Last time you're going to see my Christmas stuff. Tomorrow we're going to be taking it down. Um, but today I'm talking about something that's actually really cool and really near and dear to my heart, which is targeting key influencers or interesting mofos, as I like to call them. And I use the bad word, but trying to keep it clean so that YouTube will let me post my video. Anyways, so today we're going to be talking about three-ish, maybe four, ways that you can target key influencers that you want to reach. Now, who are key influencers? So, I was just talking to a coaching client the other day, and he sells a product for the fitness industry. So, of course, he's targeting gyms. He's targeting on kind of a, maybe they would buy wholesale level. He's targeting individual trainers who could be promoters for his products or influencers. But then he's also targeting startups and venture capitalists because he could use financing for his product. So it's really neat to think. So when I'm working with some of my bigger clients, I'll ask them for 100 people, or I'll ask them for 25 people that are their key influencers, so that we can really start to get an idea of who they want, and then start thinking strategically that it's not just maybe what is obvious, but it's a broad range of people. So this is my list. So these are lists I have. So I have artists. I have, I need to get rid of that. Twitter Peeps isn't very big. But if I want to see SEO and things like that. But this is my interesting people list. And so there's a bunch of people on there. So there's people that I find interesting. This New Biz podcast is actually Chris Drucker. He's kind of cool. And he seems to be doing it really well, although he doesn't have a lot of followers yet. So that I find that interesting. And then, like Grant Cardone and things like that. Now, the thing that you want to kind of look at is two different things. There's people that you find interesting that you know. So like, let's see, some of my friends. So I actually, on the internet, know Chris Brogan. He's very nice. I've done some of his classes. He knows me to speak to me, and I like him very much. So for him, he's best-selling author, he's bigwig, right? But he's somebody I already know. So I really want to make sure that I'm helping promote his stuff. So that's really important to me. This is my self-publishing podcast guys who we're even going to be looking at their stuff. But of course, I have them on my list of interesting people. Now, I will tell you that the one thing that you want to do, and you have to do it through Hootsuite, so just look up how to put yourself on your own lists. But you want to make sure to put yourself onto this interesting list. So I have myself on my list. You physically have to do it through Hootsuite, though. You can't do it through the Twitter interface. All right, so now let's look at that list. So I'm going to come over here to my lists. Lists is where you get to them. You could make a new list, or you could look at them. So what you want to do with these people is find something, avoid the W no metric in your marketing analytics. And that's Christopher Penn. And I don't know him that well. I just think that he's know him. Like, seriously, you're going to feel like you know these people after a while. And what happens is, because you're going to do this, so I'm going to retweet it. He'll get a notification that I retweeted it, and he'll be able to see that. And now, it may not make a difference today. It may not make a difference in, a week or whatever. But if I consistently, occasionally share his stuff and do all that, then he's going to start noticing me. And the whole point of this is the people who are on your list already have notoriety, already have built their audience, already have done that. Yes, you would eventually like to possibly get help from them, but they are bombarded with people who, like, I'll tell you on my very small level, I get emails, between 4 and 10 emails a day, that say, hey, I noticed you have a really great website. I want to post a blog post on there because it would help me. It doesn't exactly say that, but that's what it means. It means that they want to take all the work I've done over the last 8 years and use it to support their business. And so I never answer them. Like I used to at least try to answer them, but now I don't even answer them because I feel like that's not very cool. Now, if they were to start retweeting my stuff or they were to start sharing my blog posts and then were to ask and to say, hey, you noticed you've talked to me a couple times, you seem really cool, would you mind promoting my book? Would you mind writing a foreword for my book? Would you mind having me guest post on your blog? Would you mind tweeting out this super super special thing? Would you mind giving me a quote for my blog post? So they have to know who you are before you can start asking for them. And the cool thing that makes this not creepy, makes it more helpful, is of these 73 people, and I'm helping all of them. Like I just spend my days helping them because I like them. John Lee Dumas vaguely knows who I am. He thinks my pterodactyl's funny. I feel like I know most of these guys. I'm truly stalking Ray Chase for no other reason than he's just adorable. But some of these, like I know Subi Zimmerman has no idea who I am right now. Chris Krimitsos is actually a friend of mine that I knew from in person. Like I could totally stalk Neil deGrasse Tyson for the rest of my life, and he's never going to know who I am because I'm not in his industry. I don't really have anything to say. I just think he's really, really cool. So that's kind of the point, is you want to help people for the sake of helping them, because like Neil deGrasse Tyson provides such great value to me. He's been on Cosmos. He does like really cool things. He goes on Jon Stewart, and I just feel like if there's anything I can do to help promote him for the value that he's already given me, he doesn't owe me anything, not one thing in the whole world, because he's entertaining. And so anything I can do to help promote his stuff, I will. So that's how you use a Twitter list. This is my favorite simply because the where you find the most real people, okay, are people are actually managing their own Twitters, more so I feel like than regular people. And I would say I'm not going to let this list get up. This list wouldn't get more than maybe 100, maybe 150, I don't know. But I'm not going to get much further than that because then it becomes unmanageable. I think they say that 150 is the number of friends you can have, or like in factories or businesses, what they'll do is they'll have 150 people at a location, and if it goes over 150, then they'll open up a new location. So if it's good enough for industry, it's probably a good number for me. Okay, so this is my other friends. This is the SPP guys, and they have a number of people who they're kind of stalking, and it does more than just you're following them. Okay, so in addition to that, you can find new people to follow. So this person who they're following, has this guy who they're not following yet. And holy cow, he has 199,000. Now, I don't think that I'm going to put him, like I have a list of artists or authors or whatever. So I just followed him. Why wouldn't I do that? But if I was in their account, that would definitely be somebody that we could look at following. It's kind of the friends of your friends. And so like Austin Kleon is retweeting other people. He's an interesting guy, so you have to feel like he would be retweeting interesting people, right? So I guess that's kind of where I'm going. I love using Twitter to really connect and to really grow a relationship with people. So Paper.li is it's kind of different. It's a newspaper that is pulled from some sort of criteria. And you can use your Twitter list. So I'm using my Twitter list, right? So if you look and see, there we go. So this is how they get the content, and the content is from that one list, the IMF list. So what happens is this is all good. So I can put new people into this newspaper simply by adding them to that list, right? Does that make sense? but what happens is this isn't just their stuff. This is stuff they've shared. And Paperly has a algorithm that kind of finds the best stuff. So, anyways, let's see. Twitter won an Emmy, Tech News and Analysis by Chris Sacca. So what I would do is I would check that out. So I would click this, and then because it's coming from this Paperly, it isn't going to be from Chris, right? So we've kind of lost that connection to Chris. But because he's one of my IMFs, I want to make sure I hook that connection back up, right? Because I want him to know that I'm thinking of him. So I'm going to say hashtag Twitter. I like this. You don't want it to be too short, right? Otherwise it just sucks. And then I'm going to say thanks at Chris. Oh, so now we have to figure out what his Twitter is. There you go, at Sacca. So we can do this. So it's not a retweet actually, which would kind of help him. I'm scheduling it in my buffer. But I do want to do a shout out to him. Now I could do it as a true retweet. I don't like to this is personal preference. I really don't like to retweet anything on my Twitter that isn't a picture, right? So, and it's really easy to find the pictures. So if you say tweets, you're going to be able to see which ones have pictures, right? And so I really only like to retweet ones that have pictures because let's look at this. This is my my feed, and you can tell, you know, it really shows up the things that have that. And this is so funny. I have Eastbound and Down stuck in my head. I can't help it. So anyways, that's that. And that's Paperly, paper.li. And it's free. It's a free service, and it's really cool. I know they have a paid version. You might want to check it out. I don't know if it would help. Okay. So now, another thing I like to use is Bloglovin. So now we're kind of, that's all their social, Twitter world, right? Which is where I love to live. But this is their websites. So now Tim Holtz is a craft guy, so he's just he would be in my fun stuff ones. I don't know that he's ever going to notice me, and I don't know that for my business it would be helpful if he noticed me. I'm not trying to, like, I target startups, entrepreneurs, authors, realtors. So I'm not trying to target the craft industry. So he wouldn't necessarily be somebody that I'd want to do. I would want to target startups, authors, things like that. Okay. So to share things on my social so that I can, in the words of Gary Vaynerchuk, I can't throw all right hooks with just buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, unless I'm sharing other great things from other people. So this is actually, you know, all different stuff I can share. I have it broken out by category. So this is books, and this would be about book marketing. So how you should write these contentious nightmare words. That's kind of cool. So I would probably share that. Okay, so I would totally share that on my, and I use Buffer to share, so I wouldn't click this share button. I would use Buffer to share onto my ebook nerds. What's the creepiest sentences from literature? How fun are these? But the reason why I'm not doing it right this second is some of these are going to be really good for my peeps. So let's just do sales. Let's do something else, or realtor marketing. 5 surefire tactics for stronger content marketing. Now, one thing you want to be really careful of is sometimes Inman they have 2 types of posts. They have ones that are public, and then they have ones that are behind a firewall. And so you want to be careful to only share ones that people can actually do. So I would just hit this and 5 surefire tactics for content marketing. So I would say at Inman. Um, there you go. And then just add to queue. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, you can see my dog milling around, so I have to go. Sorry. But the last thing I want to talk about is you can make interest lists down here in your right here, Facebook. So I have people on my interest list. I need to grow that, obviously. But Facebook isn't my favorite. But Mari Smith is wonderful. So I try to always click on that interest list and see if I can share something of hers or share something of interest to the other one. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully.